All right, boys and girls, we are going to finish up lesson 7 by doing our fraction notation and our decimal notation. So we're going to start by focusing on fraction notation, and then we're going to apply what we learned to decimal notation. So that shouldn't take as long as learning the fraction notation. Now, it's pretty simple. The two are not very different, except for the way you write the tenths. So in fraction notation, of course, you write the tenths in a fraction version. In decimals, you write them as a decimal. That's the only difference. So then, because you wrote them like that, these answers are written in fraction versus decimal. Okay? So let's start with the first one, 25 and 3/10. I'm going to put it on my place value chart just so I can see the place values for each number. And it's going to go like this. So I look at my first number, 2, 2. It's in the tens place, so I'm going to multiply it by 10 and put it in parentheses. Then I'm going to add to that the next number, 5 times its place value is, okay. Now I'm going to add to that the next number and it times it by its place value using fraction notation. So I'm going to write the fraction. Now, the next step is to answer each one of these parentheses problems along the bottom. So I'm going to say 2 times 10 is 20 plus 5 times 1 is 5 plus, put 3 over 1. You got 3 times 1 is 3 and 1 times 10 is 10. So altogether I have 20 plus 5 is 25 and 3/10. Just like that. We're going to skip the next one because it has a hundredths place. Let's do this tenths place one together, please. So what I'd like you to do is take a piece of paper, write down 40 and 6/10. And I want you to do as much of this, of what we did up here, as you can on your own. And then, so you're going to pause the video, do as much as you can on your own, then you're going to start the video back up. Well, welcome back. I hope that you at least got halfway, or at least got part of the top row completed on your own. So let's look at it. So first thing I'm going to do is put my 40 and 6/10 in my place value chart here. Okay. Now, when I get to the 0, there's 2 ways I can handle the 0. And I'll show you that in a minute. So let's start with our 4. So we have our first number is 4 times its place value is plus, now I can ignore the 0 and just go on to the 6, or I can put the 0. So for this one, I'm just going to put the 0 just so that I know in my heart that I dealt with the ones place. Plus, and then we have 6 times tenths. So down here, I'm going to have 40 plus 0 plus 6 over 10, which is going to be 40 and 6 over 10. So just stop the video, check what you did correctly and what you did incorrectly, and make notes for next time to yourself. All right, the rest are all hundreds. So let's go back up to this hundreds here. And let's talk about how we're going to deal with that. So I'm going to write that in my place value chart here. I've got 39 and 7/100. Now, start with the first number, 3 times 10 plus my next number is 9 times the ones place value. Very good. Now this time I'm going to ignore the 0. So I have no tenths to do, but I do have 100. So I'm going to say 7 times 1 over 100. Okay. Now, 3 times 10 is 30 plus 9 times 1 is 9 times 7 over 100 is 7. Oops, not 10, 100. So then we have 30 plus 9 is 39 and 7/100. All right. The next one is going to have 100, and we're going to ignore the zeros again, because that's typically the way you're going to want to do it. Okay. So 2, 0, 8, 0.9. There's a 0 there, but again, we're going to ignore the zeros. Okay, so start with your first number, 2 times the hundreds place. Plus, we don't have anything in the tens place, so let's go to 8 times the ones place. And then we have 9 times the 1/10. Okay? So we have 2 times 100 is 200, plus 8 plus 9 over 10. So that's going to, 200 plus 8 is 208, 9 over 10, 9 tenths. All right, let's go to this one. So I want you to write this one down, pause the video and try it. All right, I'm very proud of those who stopped the video and tried it, so you're coming back. And we're going to put 1, 0, 0, 7 in the place value chart. Let's start with our first number. It's going to be 5, so 5 times 100 plus 1 times 10. Nothing in the zeros, nothing in the tenths. So I'm going to go right to plus 7 in the 100ths. So what's that going to look like? It's going to be 500 plus 10 plus 7 over 100 is going to equal 510, 7 over 100. All right, last one. Go ahead and stop the video, try it on your own. Remembering all those notes you made to yourself about what you did correctly, what you did incorrectly, and how you're going to fix those errors. All right, welcome back. So we have 900 and 9 hundredths. It's a hard number to see. We're going to have two things here. We're going to have 9 times 100 plus 9 times 100th. And so then we're going to have 1/900 plus point, nope, we're doing it as a fraction. So 9 over 100 is going to equal 900, and 9 over 100. Very good. Now, we're going to look at how we're going to do this as decimal form. So, again, remember the things that are changing are only the ones that are as fractions. Okay? All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the things that are going to change. So, they're only the fractions are going to change into decimals. So, I'm going to highlight the fractions that I see. So that's going to remind me that that's the place in that problem that's going to change. Now the answers, of course, are going to change too a little bit, but if I'm making myself a note, so it's really just one place in every one, okay? So that's not necessarily the way it's going to be on your worksheet, because if you had two numbers, and we'll go over that in a second, we'll do one last example at the end. If there was like a 2, so it was like 25 hundredths instead of 7 hundredths. All right, so basically I'm going to copy these two because it's the same. So I'm going to write my number over here just so I can make sure I remember it. Oh, because I'm left-handed, so I can't see it. But anyway, so we're going to do 2 times 10 plus 5 times 1 plus, now, instead of 3 times 1/10, we're going to do it 3 times 1/10 as a decimal. Let me pull it down so you can see it. 3 tenths as a decimal. So we're going to do 3 times 1/10 as a decimal. So when I write my answer, I'm still going to get 20 plus 5 plus decimal 3, or 3 tenths. Okay. Let's go ahead and just try 39 and 7/100ths together. And then after that, I'm going to give you a few minutes to, or I'm going to have you pause it and do as many as you can, and then come back and check. Okay? So here I did 3 times 10 plus 9 times 1 plus 7 times 100th. Right? And then I'm going to say 30 plus 9 plus, instead of a fraction, I'm going to write it as a decimal 700ths. Okay? This is where I want you to pause. Now, I'm going to only tell you to pause once. Do as many as you can. If you only get a few done, come back, do it. When you see the answers for those, check them. You can pause it again. Remember, you can pause me anytime you want, virtually. So that's kind of nice for you. All right? So I'll see you in a minute. All right, guys, welcome back. So we're going to continue to do what we were doing. So we have 4 times 10. Remember, we said we don't have to have this, so I'm going to eliminate this time. And then the next one is 6 times 1/10. So it's going to be plus 6 times 1/10 of the decimal. So that's going to look like 40 plus 6. Make notes of what you did or what you didn't do. All right, next one. 208 and 9/10. So I have 200 times, 2 times 100, sorry, plus 8 times 1. This is where I'm going to change to plus 9 times 1/10. And so it's going to look like 200 plus 8 plus 9/10. Now this should equal this number up here too. That's how you can check it. Then we have 510 and 700ths. So we have 5 times 100 plus 1 times 10 plus 7 times 100th. That's going to equal 500 plus 10 plus 700ths. Last one. Okay. 9 times 100 plus 900ths. So 9 times 100th equals 900 plus 900ths. All right. So once you finish that, you're done with lesson 7. Congratulations.